Hello and welcome to the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Reuter, and this podcast is brought to you by thelegendarychiropractor.com, an interactive and immersive virtual platform for prospective chiropractic students, current chiropractic students, recent chiropractic school graduates, and even veteran doctors of chiropractic out in the field wanting just a little bit more from this profession. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and if you do, be sure to share with a friend, leave us a rate, leave us a review, and also be sure to subscribe to get more. Chiro HD, superior cloud-based practice management software. Chiro HD is a user-friendly, all-in-one EHR solution built with one mission: to help you run your practice like a boss. Learn more at chirohd.com. Total Clinic Solutions is your go-to source for purchasing both brand new and refurbished chiropractic equipment, as well as phone support for repairs and maintenance. Call Derek and allow him to combine your wishes and his 23 years of chiropractic equipment expertise to find what's best for you and your patients at 704-622-4089 or head to totalclinicsolutions.com now. Yo, what is going on, legendary chiropractors? Johnny Reuter here with another episode of the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. I am coming to you live today, and if you're listening to this on an audio podcast, obviously this is not live, but at the same time, I want you to understand what we're talking about today. This is going to be the baseline of a very important conversation that we are going to have for episodes to come, for seasons to come. And if you ever have any questions as a chiropractic student, as a recent graduate, please do not hesitate to reach out to myself, to reach out to fellow colleagues, to reach out to your peers, and make sure that you are asking the right questions, because today we are talking all about student loans for chiropractic students. How do you handle them? What can you expect? How do you freaking swallow a pill so large? And how do you accept the fact that this is how life is for chiropractors and chiropractic students? So we're diving into all of that right here, right now. So first things first, right? Chiropractors and chiropractic students come from a very unique background, right? Chiropractic students, a lot of times, come from one of two backgrounds. One background, a very common one, is that you had an experience or a miracle story yourself, and that is why you wanted to become a chiropractor. The second opportunity is somebody in your family and or related to your family or had some sort of association with your family and friends said, hey, why don't you think about chiropractic? And then you started digging into it, you got into it, and you were like, holy cow, this is really cool. You could change a lot of people's lives. And that's really how you got into the chiropractic profession. So both people, both kind of personalities, both kind of individuals come from a very unique background in regards to chiropractic school and starting their chiropractic journey. So where do you go from there, right? Because a lot of us sit back and we look at it, and for me, frankly, before I started chiropractic school, I didn't know I had to take so many freaking board exams. I didn't know anything about it because I came from one of those miracle story backgrounds. I came from a chiropractor adjusted me for 1 to 2 months, and I literally saw my life flip 180 degrees. I was on all sorts of medication for ADHD, ADD. I was getting 6 shots 3 times a week for allergies, and this chiropractor literally changed my life. And I looked at him, I said, I want to do what you do for so many other people, right? And I want to do what you did for me, and I want to provide that for others. So I came from a very unique background of like that miracle story person, right? And so when I looked into chiropractic school, it wasn't a matter of how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to afford it, what do the loans look like? It wasn't a question like that at all, because it came from a passion place. It came from a place of passion and perseverance, and a place of I will do anything to provide what that person and that doctor provided myself and my family. And it didn't matter. The student loans didn't matter. The money didn't matter. And in both avenues, why I pointed both of those avenues out is because a lot of times the student loans don't necessarily easily share your passion for chiropractic and look good doing it with Above Down Apparel, offering a premium lineup of principled apparel that's impossibly soft, sustainably sourced, and chiropractic AF. Visit abovedown.co and follow them on Instagram to learn more and score yourself some sweet chiro swag. Necessarily matter to us at first. And we put them on the back burner, we take out the max amount throughout school, and then we graduate and we have $150,000 to $200,000 to $300,000, $300,000 worth of debt ramped up. And now all of a sudden we got to figure out how the heck we're going to take care of it with an associate budget and or with starting out a new practice where we're taking out another $75,000 to $100,000 loan for our business, right? And so it's really interesting and it's really unique to start thinking about these things because it's really frustrating many times to chiropractic students like, oh my gosh, I'm in over my head. I have way too much debt. I did all these things. Did I do this wrong? Am I going down the wrong path? And my answer to you is no. You're not going down the wrong path, especially if you come from that miracle story and you want to help people and you're coming from this place of passion and desire to assist others in what they do and how you're going to get them there. So that's really what it comes down to is that unique perspective of, hey, this is how we're going to handle how we do this. And this is how we're going to swallow this ginormous pill of chiropractic student loan debt. Right? So the other thing that I want to mention is not only what background you come from, but how you can begin to handle the student loans that you do have. And as a chiropractic student, you don't necessarily have to begin making payments right away. You don't have to make payments right away to make sure that, because you're in a grace period, right? If you're attending school and 6 months after you attend school, and even with COVID-19 happening right now, you literally are in a grace period where there's no interest being racked up and you don't have to make any payments. You should, but you don't have to make any payments if you can't or don't have to, right? So that's one thing that's really important for chiropractic students to understand. But as we go along this week, we're going to talk all about how to handle your student loans, what student loan repayment plans are, what those look like to you, and how you can really learn how to capitalize on student loan repayment plans as a recent graduate and as an associate doctor leaving chiropractic school, because it gets really, really tough to understand how many different options there are. There's like 6 to 7 options for you. Many of them you can't really afford, especially coming out on an associate salary. And then the other things is you got to look at how fast your interest is going to accrue. But as a chiropractic student, my number one tip to you is don't take out the max every single quarter. Figure out what your bare minimum is that you actually need to live and survive for food, for gas, for classes. And then take out maybe 2,000 to 3,000 more than that, and you should be good. You should be good. You don't need to take out the max amount every single time, because then all of a sudden you'll get to, especially if you're on the quarter system, if you fail a class. Dr. Stu Hoffman, founder and president of Chiropractic Malpractice Insurance, is the foremost expert in both risk management and risk avoidance. Understanding the everyday challenges of today's practicing chiropractor and the current public perception of chiropractic has made Chiropractic the fastest growing malpractice insurance program of the last 28 years. Find out more at chiropractic.com. Imaging Services' primary business is chiropractic solutions. With over 45 years in the industry of helping chiropractors, Michael Tokash offers free consultations on building your business. In the past year, Imaging Services has installed over 100 X-ray machines and digital X-ray systems in over 42 states across the United States. For more, head to theimagingservices.com. Dr. Brad Glowacki runs one of the highest volume, highest profile, highest profitability practices in the world, and it's all run with vitalistic communication procedures. Those procedures from his office are then shared with other chiropractors at his various trainings as a part of Level Up Mentoring. This information is created, developed, tested, and then packaged simplistically before being taught. With bruises and scars from making mistakes, Dr. Glow always delivers refined content that is battle-tested and simplified for use on Monday. To level up your life and practice, head over to levelupmentoring.rocks. That's levelupmentoring.rocks. You're going extra quarters. All of a sudden now your loans are going to run out. That Grad Plus loan that you applied for living expenses and groceries and things like that will eventually run out, and they're not going to give you any more loans, especially not only the Grad Plus, but the federal loans as well. So you got to start to keep an eye on that thing. My number one tip to you is don't take out the max amount every single quarter, because you're going to run into trouble later on. If you're listening to this and you're like, shoot, I already took out the max amount. Every single quarter. I'm coming up on like 13th, 14th quarter, or 8th, 9th try, and you're freaking out. It's okay. Pump the brakes. We will talk about how to handle this in the future. We're going to talk about this whole entire rest of the season of how to handle chiropractic student loan debt, and really how you go about paying it back and how you go about handling it. And kind of that whole phrase of how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, that's student loan debt. Those are your loans, federal loans, Grad Plus loans. We can look at all of it, and we can really start to figure out how to chunk away at this. And if you're listening to this prior to Chiropractor coming out, get on the Chiropractor wait list, because if you're a candidate or an associate, you can hop in our candidate and associate Chiropractor group. It's a private group on Facebook where you can literally learn each and every week and ask questions to myself, to people I bring on, and learn through different trainings all about student loan debt, all about being an associate, all about being a candidate. And that's really how we're going to begin to have a great conversation on student loan debt and handling it in an appropriate manner, because a lot of us get far too overwhelmed, and you don't need to get overwhelmed. Even if you took out the max amount of loans per quarter, it's okay. If you're graduating with $300,000 worth of debt, it's okay. We have options for you, and you're going to be able to figure this out. You just have to make sure that you take it one step and one bite at a time. Peace and love, my friends. I love you. I appreciate you. And I hope you have a very powerful rest of your week this week. On the next episode, we are still going to continue this conversation for chiropractic students all about student loans. So be sure you tune in there. Peace and love, my friends. Bye. Again, I'm your host, Johnny Reuter, and you're listening to the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for engaging with us on all of our platforms, including, but not limited to, Facebook and Instagram, all at The Legendary Chiropractor. Be sure to check our home site out at thelegendarychiropractor.com, as we have much to offer for prospective chiropractic students, current chiropractic students, recent chiropractic school graduates, and even veteran doctors of chiropractic out in the field. And lastly, I'd like to thank not only you, our listener, but also our podcast sponsors. Without them, this show wouldn't be possible. So I encourage you to go check out their websites and what they have to offer in the show notes for this episode. Thanks again. Stay legendary, my friends.